Hello, everyone. In daily life, we inevitably deal with banks, such as depositing money, withdrawing money, or taking out loans. But did you know? In addition to the banks we commonly see, the financial sector also contains many different types of institutions. Together, they form an organic whole, which is called the financial institution system. Today, we will systematically study this system to see exactly what components it consists of and what roles each of them plays. This lesson will be organized around four main aspects. 1. The central bank, the helmsman of the financial system. 2. Commercial banks, the bridge connecting social funds. 3. Policy banks, the specialized instruments for implementing national policies. 4. Non-bank financial institutions, the supplementary forces with specialized expertise. 1. The central bank, the helmsman of the financial system. At the core of the financial institution system is the central bank, which in China is the People's Bank of China. It is a special financial institution authorized by the state to formulate and implement monetary policy, maintain financial stability, and provide financial services. The functions of the central bank can be summarized as the bank of issue, the bank of banks, and the government's bank. As the bank of issue, it monopolizes the right to issue currency. The renminbi in our hands is uniformly printed and issued by the People's Bank of China. As the bank of banks, it provides services to other banks, such as clearing funds between banks, or lending to commercial banks when they are short of money. This is called relending. As the government's bank, it acts as the agent of the national treasury, for example, collecting taxes and making government expenditures, and formulates financial policies, such as adjusting interest rates and the reserve requirement ratio. Simply put, the central bank does not directly handle business for ordinary individuals or enterprises. Its main tasks are to manage policy and maintain order, ensuring the healthy operation of the entire financial system, much like the command center in a transportation system. 2. Commercial banks, the bridge connecting social funds. Within the system, the institutions most closely related to us are commercial banks. These are profit-oriented financial institutions that operate by absorbing deposits, issuing loans, and handling settlements, such as the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, the China Construction Bank, and the China Merchants Bank. The core function of commercial banks is fund intermediation. On one hand, they gather money that residents and enterprises temporarily do not use, through savings deposits, time deposits, and other means. On the other hand, they lend this money in the form of loans to enterprises that need funds for expanding production, or to individuals for purchasing housing or consumption, and they earn profits through the interest rate spread between deposits and loans. In addition, commercial banks provide various intermediary services, such as transfers and remittances, bank card services, and collection of utility fees. These services make the flow of funds more convenient and make our daily lives easier. Commercial banks are like the capillaries of the financial system, directly connecting the supply and demand of social funds, and they are the most active part of the entire system. 3. Policy banks, the specialized instruments for implementing national policies. There is also a special category of banks called policy banks. These are financial institutions established by the government specifically to serve national industrial policies and regional development policies, and they do not primarily pursue profit. At present, China has 3 policy banks. The China Development Bank mainly supports major national projects, such as high-speed rail construction and the development of the Xiamen New Area. The Agricultural Development Bank of China focuses on serving agriculture, rural areas, and farmers. for example by providing loans for grain procurement and rural water conservancy projects. The Export-Import Bank of China primarily supports enterprises engaged in import and export, for example by providing financing for foreign trade companies. The funds of policy banks mainly come from government appropriations and the issuance of financial bonds. Their loans have long maturities and low interest rates, specifically targeting areas where commercial banks are unwilling to intervene due to high risks and low returns. They are the financial assistants that help implement national policies. For non-bank financial institutions, the supplementary forces with specialized expertise. Apart from banks, the system also includes a large number of non-bank financial institutions. These do not operate deposit or loan businesses, but they play important roles in specific fields. Common types include securities companies, help enterprises issue stocks and bonds, and provide trading platforms for investors, such as opening accounts for stock trading. Insurance companies provide risk protection for individuals or enterprises, such as health insurance or property insurance, by collecting premiums, while also investing those premiums. Fund companies issue fund products, pool investors' money, and have professional teams invest in stocks, bonds, and other assets. Examples include equity funds or money market funds such as Bao. Trust companies accept client mandates to manage assets or conduct specific financing businesses. For example, helping enterprises raise funds by issuing trust plans. These institutions are like specialized hospitals in the financial system. They provide professional services in their respective fields, compensate for the shortcomings of banks, and make the overall functions of the system more complete. Today we have studied the main components of the financial institution system. The central bank as the helmsman, commercial banks as the bridge, policy banks as the policy instruments, and non-bank financial institutions as the supplementary forces. These institutions have different divisions of labor but cooperate with each other. Together, they accomplish tasks such as fund intermediation, risk management, and policy implementation, thereby supporting the economic activities of the entire society. Understanding this system helps us better grasp where money comes from and where it goes, and allows us to more clearly see the logic behind various financial phenomena. Well, that concludes our discussion of the financial institution system.